Come back everyone to the Working Class Revolt, and today I want to share with you an absolutely hilarious story from the LBC website, and it's about Ed Davey, the leader of the Liberal Democrats, and a big announcement is made about a new operation undertook by the Lib Dems to monitor Nigel Farage and Reform UK. So he's going to take a section of the Liberal Democrats and monitor how they run these councils and some of the decisions and pledges that Reform have made that he believes are going to be badly affected on those people living in them areas. So you might think this is going to involve a lot of big names, maybe former MPs like Nick Clegg, current MPs. Well, no, you'd be disappointed. The people that are going to head this major operation are 3 elected councillors who lost their overall majorities or the mayorship to Reform UK at the local elections just gone. And Ed Davey goes on to say that he's concerned because Reform UK, and the reason he started this operation, are not going to fly Ukrainian flags on government and council owned buildings within the areas that they run. Again, totally trying to con the public on Reform UK's policies. The policy is not about the Ukrainian flag, but it's to only fly the GB flag on council-owned buildings to bring that pride back to England that you see in other countries like Wales, Scotland, Ireland, the United States of America, and so on and so on. He then goes on to try and con the public again by claiming that Nigel Farage, which the first bit's true, is going to make major cuts to councils' spending on net zero. But he claims that the bulk of this is spent on insulating people's houses. Again, an absolute outright lie by the leader of the Liberal Democrats. Councils do not fund insulating houses out the council budget. It is true that sometimes government grants go down to local government that then pay private contractors to insulate homes. But if you're to cut the budget of a council, that wouldn't even come into it. And I'm sure, and I would hope, this is something that Ed Davey, the leader of one of the mainstream political parties, would know. He goes on to claim that the Conservative Party and the Labour Party are scared of Reform UK. The first true thing that Ed Davey has said in this article, and that they're trying to out Farage, Nigel Farage, and that although it's not going to be easy, the Liberal Democrats are going to be the party to oppose Reform UK. And this is where we really see the meat on the bone from the Liberal Democrats and the future plan that they have. You see, the Liberal Democrats have a long history of being the party that tries to have a policy different than every other political party, hoping that it can gain 10-20% of the electorate by really pushing on something that they believe in that no other political party is talking about because it's not popular with the wider public. So if you look from 2015, when the Conservatives under David Cameron got an outright majority in that year's general election, and they didn't need the Liberal Democrats, they started to claim everything was the Conservatives' fault. They was the boogeyman for the next 9 years. They became the only party to be absolutely anti-Donald Trump when Trump won the presidency last November, being the only party to actually say that we shouldn't invite the President of the USA over to our country. You remember Brexit? They was the only political party actually campaigning to say we should automatically be back in the EU. And let's be honest, none of this has ever really worked for the Liberal Democrats. So now they see the writing on the wall, something that we're all beginning to see, that the likelihood is Reform UK under Nigel Farage will win the next general election. And the Liberal Democrats are hoping to become the opposition party. They know they could never in the wildest dreams form a government with the electorate. But in this current political landscape that we have, where people like never before are turning on the Labour Party and the Conservative Party, who, well, let's be honest, he is right, are trying to copy Nigel Farage, but nobody believes him, he's decided that if he goes absolutely anti-reform and now concentrates on all attacks aimed at Nigel Farage, that he might get a big enough vote from those who don't like Nigel and reform to become the official opposition. And you know what? This is something that might actually work, but it really does show the character and the morals of Ed Davey and the Liberal Democrats. They stand for absolutely nothing. Like I said before, anti-Donald Trump, anti-Brexit because they thought that was popular. This is straight away after Nick Clegg was campaigning for a referendum to come out the EU. Why? He was sharing a bed with David Cameron in a coalition. As soon as that didn't work, then they went far left. Don't forget, that was the political party who signed up to stopping funding students at college and university. And now all of a sudden they're back to the left, promising all these amazing things, a lot of the time, which the country probably under this current climate couldn't afford. They are nothing more than a protest party. However, I do think if you're purely looking to win seats at the next general election, being anti-reform UK may possibly see the Liberal Democrats be the official opposition. But it won't be with 200-300 MPs. It will be because Reform UK have absolutely annihilated the Labour Party and Conservative Party, and those people who are at the centre or the left who have fell out with the Labour Party and Conservative Party will protest the vote with the Liberal Democrats. That's the major problem for the two big parties. Which way do they go? Do they go to, well, what they call the right, which I don't believe in a lot of right, left-wing politics, but for argument's sake, do they argue to the right to try and stop people going to reform but then risk losing them to the Liberal Democrats? Or do they move more to the left and face total annihilation? Well, they've picked the side they're going to try to copy Nigel Farage. So let me know what you think of Ed Davey and his big operation, Get Nigel Farage. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.